Hi, and welcome to the first Coffee Boys video podcast. Today I want to talk about the credit crunch yet again and whether you will survive it or not. And the number one key, in my view, is entirely mindset. I have in my hands here two pieces of paper. One is a print off of an article by Mr. John Stipek in MSN Money, and the other one is a sort of a trading article by a guy called Jim Cramer, who's a sort of an American stock picking guy. And this side signifies for me the people who will, if you pay attention to this, it signifies for me the sort of people who will not survive the credit crunch. If you're paying more attention to this, then you will, because it's to do with mindset. Jim talks about, his headline is, John Stepek talks about, will the recession kill off cafe culture? The interesting thing about this, there are a lot of commentators out there who love the concept of credit crunch and recession and so on, because it gives them something to write about. It gives them something to become, to hype up, to make a big deal about. So if you listen to some of his language, it fascinates me, because it looks like people are taking heed of these budgeting tips. Starbucks, the face of modern coffee culture, and to a large extent globalization. In other words, blame Starbucks for globalization has finally run into trouble. In other words, it's not before time. So he then talks about how the fact that Starbucks have struggled in Australia, which is an interesting story and to be dealt with later. But what he says is the Aussies have put this down to the fact that the Australian palate being too sophisticated for Starbucks, though I suspect that the fact is that they, like every other major Anglo-Saxon economy, are facing a horrendous property crash. Horrendous! May have even more to do with it. Then he moves on and comes up with things like all these people who say, I need my daily caffeine fix, are finding that they can get it just as easily from a cup of instant swill made in their own home as from a £3 mocha choca low-fat venti grande with a twist of lemon or whatever. So what he's trying to do there is imply this whole concept that actually put the fear into you that actually people are just going to eat all of this at home. Now, he has some valid points. Caffeine high, he says. The truth is that there are just too many coffee shops. We like cafes, and I don't think that'll change, but there are only so many of them that we can visit. That's true. And if you continue to, but it's up to you to decide you want to be one of the ones that will stay afterwards. And if you keep putting this sort of fear into you about the economy, it reflects through in how you run your business, and ultimately then you won't survive. It's as simple as that. The other side of this, here we have Jim Cramer saying Starbucks is a buy. So why would you recommend buying Starbucks stock unless you felt that there was a long-term success in the market? So you can do two things. What I have is on two types of clients. I have clients on one side who are flourishing, and I speak on a regular basis with operators who are just doom and gloom and getting nowhere. So those folk who are flourishing are continuing to put their efforts, not just money, because it doesn't always take money, but their efforts into their marketing. They're writing blogs, they're putting up Facebook sites, they're working at new ways to try and drive new customers through. They're always looking at different angles, and they're taking advantage of some of the new media that are out there to try and promote their business, sometimes at no cost. They're continuing to work on their training. They're doing more creative training. They're using video training. They're using role play training, and they're doing more training. They're upping their quality of what they provide. Their coffee is getting better. They're continually producing better coffee. They're not cutting back. They're getting better. So that if that customer has £10 a week that they're prepared to spend in a coffee shop, they want that £10. They don't want it going to the guy down the road who is not putting the effort in. So they're increasing the quality, and as I say, they're increasing their better marketing. The guys on the other side who are listening to the doom and the gloom and the recession and the credit crunch and all of those things, they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. They're sitting back and worrying. They're talking about the cost of butter price going up and flour and all of these things, but they're doing nothing to move forward. The interesting thing is those guys who are doing well, who aren't even noticing the credit crunch, what they're doing is they're doing what they've always done. They just carry on. They don't even notice it. Some of them are simply saying that they have had no change in their sales since the start of this theoretical credit crunch. So get out there, get the book. And this isn't even necessarily a plug, but take 2 or 3 of the ways from the 52 ways to make more money, and apply them in the business this week or this month. Take 52. It was designed to do 1 a week. So make the effort. It's not just our book, any books. Work on your marketing. Come and speak to us about trying to help you. I'm doing these 1 hour free phone calls a week, which I'm prepared to do for 2 people every week, where I'll sit down on the phone and we can discuss the major problems that you're having in your business. So email me, john@thecoffeeboys.com, but whatever you do, do something and ignore this and pay attention to this. Thank you.